No reported income for the last 5 years, and the only claim to fame you got, as far as I could find, was finishing second place in the International Rope Skipping Championship in Boulder, Colorado in 1984. Quite an accomplishment. What was your speciality? Double Dutch?
Fuck this guy.
T, I can handle this, dog.
You done nuts looking bitch! Fuck, I know you
Christ,
just
man.
stepped to me,
What the
dog.
hell are you doing,
That
man?
skipping shit cut me deep, dog.
Suck on this, Blondie!
Fuck my eyes, man!
Get him out of here.
High panted bitch!
I am gonna be watching you.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna prove you wrong, big guy. Because I can play this game a lot better than you.
Really?
Yeah, really. You got something to say?
No, it's just admiring your pants, officer.
Right.
Kart! Hey! Mixxxer win!
Somebody says something politically or socially that you don't agree with, spawning a movement to get them to lose their fucking job, how that makes that person more supportive of the troops, America, less of a socialist, whatever the fuck it is you think they are, or how that makes them less racist, less homophobic. Like, I don't know. That doesn't work. Yelling at people, taking away their jobs. You know what I mean? It's like way back when the Dixie Chicks criticized George Bush. The fucking right, all of a sudden, they pressured radio stations to not play their music. They were fucking running over their CDs with steamrollers. And, you know, people are like, dude, what the fuck? You're going a little far. And it's like, no, they had a right to say that, and we had a right to respond. It's tit for tat. It's like, that's not tit for tat. You know, tit for tat is they trash George Bush, you defend George Bush, and you trash them. Trying to systematically destroy their career and their ability to make a living is not tit for tat. That's like somebody flicked your fucking ear, and then you took out a fucking knife and trying to cut their jugular. So, and personally speaking, I think both sides are really guilty of that. They're really guilty. When you get really far left and you get really far right, they're really guilty of just, they bully people, and they're so fucking wrapped up in that they're so goddamn right about everything that they really become condescending, insufferable assholes. And I don't know. So I try to stay in the middle, because I would never tell you who the fuck to vote for, nor did I ever on this thing. Unlike what most people saw. Dude, I got people on fucking Twitter. It's hilarious. Like, they just sitting there. First of all, they think they know me because they watched me on a talk show, and then they think they know how I voted. Like, the amount of people that thought I voted for Trump, and then the amount of people that thought I voted for Hillary. All the Trump people think I voted for fucking Hillary, and all the Trump all the Hillary people think I voted for Trump. I didn't vote for either one of them. I told you guys right along. Bernie Sanders was my fucking guy. That was my fucking guy. And watching him getting boxed out by the media because they felt Hillary had more of a chance, and they didn't give a shit that they were just voting for just more of the same, more of the same. The only thing I will commend with the right is they got their Bernie Sanders in. I mean, the guy is a fucking shit show, but at least, at least they stuck by their rebel. I wish that they had done that with... I would have loved to have seen Bernie against fucking Donald Trump. I think Bernie would have had a better shot. I just think the Clintons had too much fucking baggage. And even as a Clinton supporter, that's fucking true. How little did Bill Clinton talk during that whole fucking time? He didn't talk at all. This is a former fucking president who had a successful presidency. I mean, even though he got impeached for sticking a cigar, lying about, Monica Lewinsky. He didn't talk. Like Al Gore lost to George Bush. He didn't use Bill Clinton. He goes, I got to get the fuck away from you, dude. You're a fucking nightmare. You're a fucking nightmare. You're a political fucking nightmare. And the dude's own wife had to do the exact same fucking thing. I don't know. They had a ton of fucking baggage, and Hillary supporters won't fucking look at it objectively at the same way Trump supporters won't look at that. I mean, I don't know. It's a fucked up time. But I will tell you this, though. The time for screaming and yelling at each other is over, I feel, and it would be nice is if those people who aren't crazy fucking left and crazy right could kind of maybe break bread a little bit, which I don't think is going to happen because of 8 years of Obama and 8 years of the progressive left becoming word police and social police and idea police and all of this stuff telling you what the fuck you're supposed to think about everything and what you're supposed to say and what word you're supposed to use. And I really think it's overly simplifying saying that the right voted the way they did because they want to say homophobic and racial slurs. Just turning people into that's just, like both of them. They always turn each other into like a cartoon. Like you ever notice like whenever like a Democrat gets in, the right totally overreacts and like it's going to be socialism. It's going to be like communist Russia. There's going to be terrorists running down the fucking street, And then whenever anybody in the right gets in, it's always like, this is like Germany in 1935. Every fucking time. They say that every fucking time. I'm not saying that one of those times it won't be fucking true, but they say it every fucking time and they completely freak the fuck out. And, I don't know. And then when they get in, they ram their ideologies down the other person's throat. They have zero empathy for somebody else. They have zero empathy for how people want to raise their kids. And they just, both sides, they just like, we're 100% right, and you're going to fucking take this right down the throat. And I don't know. Each election, I think the pendulum keeps swinging farther and farther. But even if you're not fucking Democrat, you have to be proud of the last 8 fucking years. I mean, at least there was no cigars and pussies. There was no, they have weapons of mass destruction. Oops, we can't find any. Oh, now it's a liberation? There was none of that shit, right? Who knows? Who the fuck? I don't know what's going to happen, but, I'm no comfortable with this result than anybody else, but you wouldn't know that from all these fucking things, these emails. I'll read you, I'll try to get through these next 2 emails that I got. This is classic, like, political shit, how people, like, they just hear what they want to hear, right? So this guy writes me, and this guy is basically, I think, blaming me in a roundabout way for Donald Trump getting in. Because God knows that's the kind of power the Monday Morning Podcast has, Couple 100,000 downloads. I mean, that's it, dude. That's it. I can't believe I don't have Secret Service security right outside my door as I do this. Literally a podcast where I talk about fucking sports 90% of the time. I talk about conspiracy theory. I say I'm an idiot. I can't read out loud. You know, this guy, for some reason, is choosing to ignore all of this. I'm going to say because the person he wanted didn't get in. So here we go. Dear Freckles, I'm no rocket scientist, all right? Immediately going self-deprecating. Neither are you. Okay, agreed. And I think it's safe to assume the large majority of your listeners aren't either. Unlike you, I would never speak for them. I don't know who they are. Okay? But, you know, if you want to assume that, to continue on with your point, I'll go along with it. Most are like me. Average middle. This person has not done one fucking ounce of research for this, but this is how we build points. This is how I build a point. Most are like me. Average middle class folk who like a laugh twice a week from our favorite comedian. See this? This is laying the groundwork. I feel an overhand right coming. You have swayed my opinion on several things over the years. Oh, Jesus. Most notably, I went from a Patriot hater to someone who supports them and agrees they are unfairly scrutinized by the league and other teams. Well, isn't that amazing? So I guess if I could sway you on the amount of air that should be in a football, I could sway you on who you're going to pick for the leader of the free world. Yeah, I can. That's the same. You know, I totally see that point. I don't think there's any sort of giant body of water that you're leaping over there. I don't. Okay, here we go. When I realized how much your opinions influence me, I realized how much they might influence others. Okay, here's the big failure here, buddy. Okay? You didn't agree with me on the Patriots. I brought you around. You didn't agree with me with my political opinion on Hillary Clinton. You didn't change. You know? I think that I can bring your fucking opinion around about using those savey save fucky fuck cards in your everyday bullshit life. But when I think it comes down to electing the leader of the free world, I think you go a little bit beyond the Monday morning podcast or the Thursday afternoon just before Friday Monday morning podcast where I scream, I'm just checking in on you like a fucking idiot for half a minute. All right, so here he goes with this. See, he's laid. See, he came out. I'm no rocket scientist. Self-deprecating, okay? Then he goes, hey, and then he just goes, well, I'm going to assume that this is what your listeners are without doing any sort of research. And then I'm going to go, oh, you swayed me on this fucking basic bullshit horseshit that means absolutely nothing. Therefore, you could sway me on something that means, you know. Jesus Christ, dude, you walk through the mall and there's somebody sitting there going, hey, buddy, can I talk to you for a second? This is a self-fan. Look at this. You can spray some spritzer in it, blah, 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 and all of a sudden you buy some little impulse buy thing. Then with your theory, that guy could also get you to vote for who the fuck he wants you to vote for. Anyways, continuing on. When I realized how much your opinion influenced me, I realized how much they might influence others and how these influences might have much larger implications than the NFL. Call me crazy, but it seems like you're going into paranoia now. After your polls said that your person was going to win, and now you're sitting there with your jaw on the ground, and now you're looking for a scapegoat. And here I am, a 48-year-old, bald, pasty fucking redhead. There's an easy target. Let's go after him. I love it, buddy. Let's do it. Fucking tar and feather me. Here we go. You have consistently and foolishly bashed Hillary so much more than you have Trump. Hilarious, right? So much more than Trump. I have an entire chunk of material on Donald Trump, and Trump was so fucking easy, I felt guilty when I was on stage. I did it when I was on Conan about building the fucking wall. How ridiculous an idea that is, how much money that was going to be. I did all of that. I always called him a dope. I always called him a reality TV show star. Didn't even remotely respect him as a businessman. I said I didn't believe that he was a billionaire. I said I don't think that he could get you $6,000 in cash if you gave him 6 or 7 weeks. I thought he was completely leveraged out. I made fun of his hair. I made fun of how he didn't say anything to anybody. He never said anything. It was the most fascinating thing I've ever seen. He would go like fucking, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And someone would be like, how are you going to do that? And he would be like, oh, you'll see. You'll see. I was doing a bit in my act going, I want to use that with my wife. Just make all these outrageous claims about what a great husband I'm going to be. And then when she gives me shit, well, what are you going to do to improve yourself? Oh, you'll see. You'll see. No, you need to tell me. Well, I'm not going to give away my strategies. Then you'll steal them. I did all of that. Right? And then Hillary, I said that she was part of the Bilderberg group. I talked about the Hillary Foundation and how they fucking been living off of that shit. They threw a $3 million wedding for their daughter. All of that type of shit. All of her fucking felony charges and everything, which, of course, all Hillary supporters are like, those were unfounded. They were not proven. Yet, with fucking Donald Trump, 6 or 7 people say that he sexually assaulted them, which I fucking believe. I believe that, too. That girl, when she went, get real, which I also said on the podcast, and I was like, dude, he definitely did that shit. You didn't hear any of this shit, did you, sir? You know why? Because you got fucking blue ties stuck in your fucking ears. All right, let's go. Continuing to blame me. All right. I evidently, so much more, I trashed Hillary. The entire election, you have unfairly focused hate on her. And at the end of your tirade, you tack on, oh, and he's a cunt too. You don't seem to realize the influence you have on people who listen to you twice a week, every week. Sir, you've done nothing to prove that I have influence. This is all something that you built in your head when you were hyperventilating that this fucking monster got into the office. All right? And Hillary's a monster too. Okay? And that right there was my, oh, and she's a cunt too. I didn't like either one of these people. And that was my message throughout all of this. Okay? And that's just my fucking opinion, which I'm allowed to have. Aren't I? All right. You most likely influenced at least one voter to vote for Donald Trump. And for that, you should be fucking ashamed. Dude, this is all fucking conspiracy theory. Because you got somebody to cast one vote for the person that I didn't vote for, you should be fucking ashamed. Because I only see the faults of the guy with the red tie, and I don't see any faults with the person with the blue blouse. All right, you are so stupid. Here we go. This is always great to get somebody to listen to your opinion. Usually what you should do, you usually should end with the insult. Say your point, and then you tag on, you fucking asshole, because then they'll at least hear your point. But if you start this, if you front-end load, all right, you are so stupid that in one sentence you go from saying how they never talk about this issue or that issue, then conclude by saying, but I haven't watched any of the debates or kept up on this at all. You fucking idiot. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You don't think that Trump supporters didn't say the same thing? They did, buddy, because I have the exact same fucking email from the other side. All right? Which, with my theory that I'll now use, that also has no research behind it, I would say that you guys all sort of canceled each other out. So whatever influence I had, I influenced somebody the other way too. So I am completely exonerated here. And if you look at the popular vote, it was almost right down the fucking middle. So there you go. So he calls me a